Hey Reddit, I don't even know where to start with this. It's been a whirlwind of emotions over the past 48 hours, and I'm still trying to process everything. My name's Matt, I'm 34, and I've been married to my wife, Emma, for 8 years. On the surface, we've always been the picture of a happy couple. Friends would joke that we were relationship goals. And honestly, I believed it too. Or at least, I wanted to believe it. Emma and I met in college and had that instant connection. She was smart, funny, beautiful. Everything I thought I could ever want. We built a life together. We bought a cozy little house in the suburbs, adopted a rescue dog named Bailey, and even talked about starting a family soon. I worked a demanding job in IT, but Emma always assured me she didn't mind my long hours. She said she appreciated the stability I brought, the life we were building together. But in hindsight, maybe I was too trusting. Maybe I ignored the little things. Those subtle signs you only recognize when it's too late. The late-night girls' nights that didn't add up. Her sudden obsession with keeping her phone on silent. The slightly distant way she'd been acting lately. I brushed it off. I thought, no way. Not Emma. She wouldn't. Well, yesterday proved me wrong. I wasn't supposed to be home early. That's where this all begins. I'd been sent to a client site for the day, but an unexpected server issue forced the whole project to a halt. My boss told me to take the rest of the afternoon off, a rare blessing. I was excited to surprise Emma, maybe take her out for lunch or just spend some time together. Little did I know the surprise would be mine, and not in the way I ever imagined. I pulled into the driveway, feeling uncharacteristically cheerful for a weekday afternoon. Bailey barked excitedly as I walked through the door, his tail wagging like crazy. Everything seemed perfectly normal. I dropped my keys on the counter and called out, "Emma? I'm home." Silence. It was odd, but I figured she might be upstairs. Maybe she hadn't heard me over the TV or her music. So I headed up to our bedroom to surprise her. That's when things took a turn. The door to our bedroom was slightly ajar, and I heard muffled voices, laughter, followed by whispers. My stomach dropped. A pit formed in my chest, but I kept telling myself it was nothing. Maybe she was on a call, or maybe a friend had come over. But as I pushed the door open, the reality hit me like a freight train. There she was, Emma, tangled up in bed with another man. I froze, the scene burning itself into my brain. They didn't notice me at first, too caught up in their little moment. When they finally realized I was standing there, Emma gasped, scrambling to cover herself. The guy, some shirtless, smug-looking guy I didn't recognize, just stared at me, almost like he was challenging me. It was like something out of a bad movie. I expected rage. I expected my body to launch into some primal fight-or-flight response. But instead, I just felt hollow, numb. I stood there for what felt like an eternity, my mind racing but my body still as a statue. Emma started stammering, something about it not being what it looked like. I let out a hollow laugh. Not what it looks like. Really? Her face turned pale. The guy, on the other hand, had the nerve to smirk. That smirk lit a spark in me, but not the kind of rage they probably expected. No punches were thrown. No yelling. Instead, an idea began forming in my head. If Emma thought she could destroy everything we built without consequences, she was sorely mistaken. And this guy? He wasn't walking out of here unscathed, either. What I did next shocked everyone, including me. I took a deep breath, my mind sharper than it had ever been. "Stay right where you are," I said, my voice eerily calm. Emma looked at me wide-eyed, as if she was bracing for an explosion. The guy didn't move, his cocky smirk still plastered on his face. Good. Let him feel safe. Without another word, I turned and walked out of the room, heading straight for the kitchen. I could hear Emma scrambling behind me, calling out, "Matt! Wait! Please, let me explain." I ignored her and grabbed my phone. But I didn't call the police or my lawyer or even a friend. No, I had a different plan in mind. "Hey, Dave," I said when my coworker picked up. "Remember when you told me to invest in that hidden camera system for my house?" "Yeah. Turns out you're a genius." Emma had followed me down the stairs by this point, her face pale as a ghost. "Matt, what are you doing?" she whispered. I tapped the screen, pulling up the app for the cameras I'd installed just a few months ago. I'd originally gotten them for security while we were out of town. I never thought they'd capture something like this. Well, I said, holding up my phone and showing her the screen. It looks like we're going to make your little moment of passion famous. Her face drained of all color. You recorded us? She stammered. The guy finally came downstairs, looking less smug now. Hey man, this isn't necessary. Let's just talk about this. I chuckled, shaking my head. Talk? You mean like how you talked your way into my house? Into my bed? I wasn't going to actually upload the footage. I'm not a monster. But they didn't know that. I could see the gears turning in their heads, the panic setting in. Emma tried to grab my arm, pleading with me, but I pulled away. You want to destroy my life, Emma? I said, my voice rising. Fine. But I'll make sure everyone knows the truth before you even have a chance to spin your story. Then I took it a step further. I walked over to the shelf where Emma kept her collection of cherished mementos. Gifts I'd given her, little trinkets from vacations, and photos of us. I grabbed the whole thing, dumped it into a trash bag, and handed it to her. Take this, I said, my tone ice cold. You can go stay with your friend here. Oh, and don't worry about the house. I already sent the footage to my lawyer. Consider this my notice that I'll be filing for divorce. Emma broke down into tears, but I didn't stay to watch. Instead, I turned to the guy. You might want to get out of my house before I decide to press charges for trespassing. He bolted without another word, and Emma followed him, sobbing and begging me to talk to her. I didn't listen. I locked the door behind them, sat down in the now empty house, and let the silence wash over me. It wasn't until later that I realized I'd left the trash bag on the porch. When I went to take it out properly, I noticed something tucked inside one of the photo frames. An envelope. Curious, I opened it. Inside was a bank statement for an account I didn't recognize. Emma's name was on it, and the balance was significant. Much more than her salary could explain. And just like that, the betrayal went even deeper. Turns out, Emma wasn't just cheating with him. She'd been funneling money out of our joint accounts for months. I won't lie, Reddit, I'm devastated. But at the same time, I'm free. Free of her lies, her manipulation, her betrayal. And as for that footage, well, let's just say I don't need to upload it for the world to see. My lawyer tells me it'll be more than enough in court.